Hebrew history and prophetic books. 1. From the revolt of the 10 tribes to the ascension of Ahab. Ahab is a word for love. Has other meanings too, but AM 3029 to 3071, 975 to 909 BCE, a change from the power, prosperity, and glory of the kingdom under David and Solomon becomes suddenly manifest after the close of the reign of the latter, the new king Rehoboam, attempting to keep up the magnificent state of his father and to make the corresponding exactions while being incalculably inferior to him in all those qualities which command respect, and so far forth enforce obedience, soon found a large part of his kingdom in insurrection and open revolt. The succession of the 10 tribes under Jeroboam and the erection of a new kingdom left the royal family with only a powerful tribe of Judah and the small tribe of Benjamin, a small fragment of the great empire of David and Solomon. The civil dissension gave occasion to the previously subdued nations to abjure their allegiance, and still more reduced the power of the divided nation. From this time, the decadence of the people was for many years the constant and rapid, and they never again regained their previous prosperity. The part that went with Jeroboam fell into idolatry and religious apostasy, and so provoked the anger of God that their condition early became very miserable. The kingdom of Judah was more faithful to their religion, though there was also great wickedness among the people. The contemporary history of this period is mostly fabulous, and the data are very scanty. Actually, it's some of the books that are mentioned in the Bible as authoritative that aren't included in the Bible or bigger than the Bible itself, and things that aren't quite books. There's a lot of data. Even 100 years ago, there was a lot of information. It just was hard to correlate as confirming the Bible to be absolutely true. So therefore, in a literal sense, people couldn't make that argument based on that information. So they dismissed it as merely fabulous. It is probable that Homer was born sometime during these years, though the proof of this is by no means positive. And remember that none of these Old Testament names were J's. Some of the foreign leaders could have had a J sound or V sound, but those were not sounds in that language, in Aramea. None of the variations, whether there were 22 letters through 30 letters, and therefore, 30 sounds. The kings of Judah, Rehoboam, 975 to 958 BCE. Epijam, 958 to 955. Asa, 955 to 914. Kings of Israel. Jeroboam, 975 through 953 BCE. 953 to 951 BCE. Nadab. Baasha, is it Baasha? And do some of these things with an A at the end refer you to a H or even a Ch? I'm not sure, but or maybe a Y or Wa, but Baasha, 951 to 927 BCE. Elah, 927 to 925. No dates shown for Zimri. Omri was 925 to 913. And beginning in 937, perhaps that's what they were teaching when this was a class, or the personal conclusions of relatives or previous owners of the books, if they weren't the first ones. But give the names of the kings of Judah during the period covered by this lesson of Israel. What changes took place in the line of the latter? Who was the successor of Solomon? What occurred at the beginning of his reign? Do you think Rehoboam acted the part of a prudent and sensible ruler? What was the result? 1 Kings 12, 1 through 16. How many tribes succeeded and how many remained loyal? What course did Rehoboam pursue, and with what consequence? Verse 18 through 24. Who was made king over the succeeding tribes? Give some account of his previous history. 1 Kings 11, 26 and 28 through 30 and 40. What was Jeroboam's character, and what religious changes did he make? Chapter 12, verses 26 through 33. What warning did he get from the prophet of the Lord? And by Lord, I'm sure they mean Yahweh, not Lord, which does not translate into Lord, but God is a noun and verb. Kind of sounds awkward. So, and how did he receive it? What judgment followed? 13, 1 through 6. Give an account of what befell this prophet immediately after this. 11 through 32. What was the subsequent conduct of Jeroboam? 33 through 44. What affliction befell him? What did he do? What answer did the prophet make? 14, 1 through 16. The moral and religious condition of Judah under Rehoboam. Verse 21 through 24. What calamity came upon the nation? 25 through 28. Who was Rehoboam's successor? His character. 15, 1 through 8. Give an account of the war between Judah and Israel. 2 Chronicles 13. Who was the next king of Judah? What was his general character? Give some of the incidents of his reign. What were some of his faults? 1 Kings 15, 9 through 24. 2 Chronicles 14 through 16. Who was Asa's successor? His character and the character of his reign. 2 Chronicles 17, 1 Kings 22, verses 41 through 50. Who succeeded Jeroboam in the kingdom of Israel? How long did he reign? How did his reign terminate? What prophecy was fulfilled? 1 Kings 15, 25 through 30. Who now usurped the throne? His character. What prophetic message was sent him? 15:33, 16:7. Who followed Baasha, and how was the foregoing prophecy fulfilled? 8 through 14. Who succeeded Elah, and how long did Zimri occupy the throne? What events followed? The character of Omri and the character of his reign. 15 through 28.